Back for chapter 6 of Starcrossed. So excited. Okay, so Helen, lastly left off, she'd fainted after she realised she was flying, which, yeah, that probably would have been pretty shocking, but now she's dreaming. And Lucas is there and he's really scared and he's on all fours, but Helen won't leave him behind, so she makes him stand up and walk. Interesting. So Helen says something has caught her from her fall, or broken her fall, or something. She is comparing it to a life raft. And she's trying to deal with her pain, because she's in terrible pain. Poor Helen, she's in terrible, awful pain. And she, I don't know, she's counting her heartbeats, trying to divide her pain up into manageable little bits. I don't think pain works that way, but okay. It's like, oh, I'll deal with my headache now, and maybe I'll deal with my broken leg later. Oh, there we go. Amazing. Also, obviously, a life raft didn't catch her and break her fall. The Delos boys had caught her. She says boys, like plural, but I'm pretty sure it's just Lucas. Yeah, it seems like it's just Lucas. Lucas is there and he's caught her. Now they're just talking like cave people to each other. Lucas is like, Helen, make sound, if alive. And she's just like, alive, can't move. And he says, wait, listen to waves, calm. He said, struggling with every word as her body weight tried to press the air out of him. How heavy is Helen? She's pretty tall. That's another thing in the description. She's tall. So I guess she'd probably weigh more than the average bear. And I guess they just kind of lay there and breathe together. She makes note of that. They're like breathing together in rhythm, in sync. Beautiful. Romantic. Okay. Ooh, we're getting some revelations here, actually. That's pretty exciting because she's feeling all sorry for herself, like she normally does, because it's Helen. She says, oh, she really was a monster. A freak, maybe even a witch. She wanted to cry. Oh no, she's laying on top of Lucas and she just starts crying. Okay. And Lucas says, don't be scared, the pain will pass. She says, should be dead, what's wrong with me? She whined quietly through her liquefied jaw. Like, is that literal? Like, literally liquefied jaw? Or is she being, like, figurative there? I really hope she's being figurative, because I don't think you can heal from a liquefied jaw. I just don't think that's, I don't think that's a possibility, to be honest. How does one liquefy their jaw in the first place? Helen, damn, you must have fallen hard, girl. And here's the revelations I was talking about I was talking about before. Lucas is like, you're one of us. And Helen says, and what's that? And he says, we call ourselves Scions. S-C-I-O-N-S. I'm assuming that's Scions. I don't think it's Scions. I'm going to go Scions. And Helen goes, offspring? Offspring of what? Helen knows that Scion means offspring. She goes, offspring, Helen mumbled, remembering the definition from one of Hergie's despised word of the day assignments. Hergie's like an English teacher or something, homeroom teacher maybe. And, how random is that? She remembers it from an assignment she had to do. What? Like, Helen, what? So they're laughing about some stuff. We find out that Scions, they are actually the offspring of demigods, or we don't actually get an explanation of that. She hears the word demigod, but nobody cares to explain that. Lucas doesn't care to explain it, apparently. It has become apparent that it is just Lucas and Helen here. I feel like someone would be, like, doing something if it wasn't just them. And now we find out that Helen doesn't hate Lucas anymore. She doesn't loathe him anymore. Which was just, that's great. The romance begins. So they're all happy that they're alive. Obviously. Like, that's awesome. Amazing, we're alive. And, Lucas says, I can't believe we're alive. And Helen says, neither can I. I thought you were coming to kill me tonight, but instead you caught me. You saved my life. Well, don't forget, Helen, he did come there to kill you. Like, that was his initial goal. just because events changed doesn't mean he wasn't there to kill you in the first place. Helen, get it together, girl. Again, with the directions and stuff. What's her name? Helen wants to know where we are. Where are we, Lucas? And he says, at the bottom of our impact crater, on the last bit of beach, before Great Point Light, at the absolute tip of the narrowest strip of sand on the northernmost end of Nantucket Island. Too much. I don't know where that is. Why are you telling me these things? I have no fucking clue what you're even talking about. Oh, they're being all, like, weird and romantic now, but I feel like it hasn't really been a romance, like, story yet. They just kind of hated each other for the first many pages, and now Lucas is like, no one will hurt you, he promised, his arms tightening slightly around her. She says, Hector, she began, would have to get through me first, he said resolutely. Why, Lucas? You don't care about this girl. Like, apparently the Furies are gone now, so they're fine with each other now. Apparently. So, the Daedalus family has found them, and Ariadne and Jason healed her. Very painful healing by the sound of it. She felt like she was being burnt alive, I guess. Unfortunate. So we just got like a full description of Ariadne. Like, listen to this. So Helen opens her eyes. She saw Ariadne's luminous hazel eyes, fringed with the same incredibly long lashes as Jason's, looking down at her with compassion. She studied Helen's face carefully, and then she gave her a tired smile. Helen thought Ariadne looked drained, as if what she had done for Helen had cost her. Her bow-shaped lips were ashy instead of their usual cherry red, and her long chestnut hair stuck to her perspiring cheeks. That was like a paragraph of description for Ariadne. I still don't know what Helen looks like. I know she's tall. She's tall, and I think she's... like I said, I think she's got brown eyes, and I think she's pale. That's all I know about Helen. I don't even know what hair colour Helen has. She could be blonde, she could have black hair. I have no clue. I literally don't know. So she's looking at Lucas because he's lying on the ground or something. And she says that there's a Helen-shaped dent running down the length of his body, and his chest was nearly caved in from the weight of her head and shoulders. How heavy is Helen, I ask again? When you lay on top of a person, you shouldn't nearly cave their chest in. No, that's not how things work. This is actually kind of funny. Oh, they actually said something funny. That's... wow. Helen says, so what are you doing next Friday night? And Lucas says, what have you got in mind? Helen says, we could try hitting each other with cars. I actually laughed at that. Genuine laugh. That was actually kind of funny. My first, genuine response. Happy response to this book. Very good. Oh, now they've taken it too far. I'm not amused anymore. Because Lucas says, I did that last weekend with Jace. So Helen says, go to the zoo and throw ourselves to the lions. You've taken it too far, Helen. It's not funny anymore. Shut up. Move on. So I don't think any of them want to kill each other anymore because they did just heal Helen. So I guess the Furies are gone. But Cassandra, I think, still doesn't like Helen very much. Oh, remember when I said Cassandra wasn't an important character? Well, I lied. Cassandra's about to become the main antagonist. I bet. What I'm confused about is Helen and Lucas laid here in this puddle of cold water for hours, like all night they were lying here, healing because they couldn't move because all their bones were broken. But they made a crater. They literally made a crater in the beach. And she lives on a little island. Did no one notice this crater at all night? No? I guess not. Helen just compared herself to a fussy baby. She's like, as she heard the purr of the engine, she nodded off, exactly like a fussy baby on a car trip. Helen, babe, just maybe not compare yourself to a fussy baby. That doesn't make me want to like you. Because right now you're not doing so well in like the liking scale. My favourite character so far is probably like Jerry, because he's not there and I never have to see him. That's great. I guess everyone just likes each other now because Ariadne, oh well, Helen's at their house. I'm guessing she woke up in a room in someone's bed with a nightgown on that she wasn't hers and she had nothing on underneath it. So I'm guessing Ariadne probably dressed her in that, I hope. And she's all joking with her, and now Aunt Pandora has come in. Wait, who's Pandora then? I thought Pandora was the mum, but now I've realised the mum is Noelle Delos. Who's Pandora? Where did she come from? Damn, I've never heard of her before. And Noelle is apparently a normal woman without an ounce of demigod strength. So I guess we've just accepted that we're the offspring of demigods then. We're not questioning that, Helen? No? Okay. Well, Helen seems like the kind of person that just sort of is like, oh, okay, yeah, I gotcha. Oh, I have to kill this boy? Sure, whatever. Let's do it. Oh, I have superhuman strength. I'm the child of a demigod? If you say so, I'm not going to question that. Huh. This, like, author is not subtle at all. So basically, they're chilling in the kitchen. Noelle is making lunch, dinner. It's dinner time, I guess. And, Pandora mentions that Hector was healing 2 weeks ago. And Helen asks, you were healing 2 weeks ago? Oh, what's that about, really? And with the Queen of Subtlety, Noelle says, no, it's fine. It's just that Hector's recent heal is part of something much bigger. Is that foreshadowing? That could be foreshadowing right there. Except that's not really foreshadowing, is it? That's just kind of saying, hey, pay attention to this. That's a big deal. Ew, they're eating lentil stew? Noelle, pull your shit together. That is gross. Helen is now giving Jason, like, her life story. Jason just, like, carried her back up to her room. She was all embarrassed about it. She's like, I can walk, don't touch me. And Jason's just like, huh, I'm not going to listen to anything you say. I'm just going to carry you upstairs anyway because I'm a big, strong gentleman. And now Helen's just, she's like, I was so scared and I was running away into the fog and then I felt really light and really cold. When I looked down and realized that I was flying, I fainted. I always knew I was strange, but there was something wrong with me. But I didn't know. Jason doesn't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. I don't care. I've already read this. I don't need it to be repeated. Like, seriously. Ooh, I think we might be getting some explanation here, maybe. Because Jason's like, you didn't start this. This was started thousands of years ago. Helen gave him a confused look, but he shook his head before she could ask any questions. Get some sleep, and don't worry about Lucas. Ugh! Can we just know something? Can you stop, like telling Helen a little bit of information and then just moving on and going, actually, no, you don't really need to know that. Haha. Just kidding. Go to sleep. Just shut up. I want to know. This is what I want to know. The story. I don't want to know about stuff I already read. Jeez. Oh, yeah. Helen's getting really into this. She's really excited about the flying. She even drops the F-bomb. Like, she could frigging fly. Oh my goodness. Helen can frigging fly. Oh, language, Helen, please. This is a book for children. Oh, now she's trying to get all fancy with her terminology. She could frigging fly, which is aerodynamically impossible for a Homo sapiens. Helen. Okay, so she says she has to be something else. Something other than human. Didn't you already establish that, Helen? I thought you already accepted that you were like a demigod child or something. The only explanation was what Lucas had said. Really. That is the only explanation. The only one. Helen, your game is dropping. What, Helen? She's like, oh, well, the gods are fake, though. They're not real. I learnt this in 8th grade, she says. I learned all about this in 8th grade. They're just manifestations of powerful natural forces. Damn, Helen is really trying to lay down that, like, smart talk here. But now she's like, the argument is over in her heart. Somehow, she was a demigod, and she was just going to have to accept it. Really? Helen? Just like that? Just gonna accept it? Well, obviously Helen's just gonna accept it. She's sneaking into Lucas's room, even after being told that he was like, oh my goodness. I am being texted. So yeah, she was told Lucas is sick and she can't bother him, but she's sneaking into his room anyway. And she goes to sit on the chair next to his bed, but he says you won't be able to sit up long here. He said as he pulled back his covers. You'd better lie down. Smooth, Lucas. Real smooth. Whoa, Helen moving really fast. She's in bed with him and she's like, it occurred to Helen that all she had to do was lean down and she would be kissing him. It seemed like such a natural thing to do, as if she should be kissing him, that she was halfway to his mouth before she stopped herself and pulled back, stunned by her lack of self-control. But, Helen, what are you doing? You hated this boy 24 hours ago. Now she's like, oh, I should be making out with this kid. And then, Lucas falls asleep, and she kind of just watches him breathe for a little bit, and she goes to sleep as well. And that's chapter 6. Literally nothing happened. Literally. I'm not even joking. Recap for that chapter. Lucas caught her. They laid around for a couple hours. Their family came to find her, and then, they fed her some food, and now she's in bed with Lucas, and that's going to be really great. When Cassandra wakes up, I bet in the next chapter, first page, I bet Cassandra is going to be getting up him. Probably. Anyway, whatever. I'll do the next chapter later.